Welcome back to another episode of the Racing Addicts podcast, the home of the bias, nothing else. I am joined remotely this evening by my good buddy Mitchell. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's a good week.
It is a good week, man. We are, for those that do not know, we are going to be at the Coke 600 weekend in Charlotte for an extended weekend too. Like I'm getting down there Wednesday night. I think you're getting down there Thursday.
Well, yeah. So I've been trying to figure out when I want to leave Thursday.
That's fair. That's it. Yeah. I think Nolan is leaving. Now he's coming from Florida, obviously, but I think he's planning to leave Thursday a.m. So we may just have like a grand meeting Thursday afternoon at the Charlotte campground.
That sounds like a plan. I think that sounds like a good plan.
I like it. I'm going to try to hit. Well, I guess it depends how early. That was really loud. I just heard a truck drive by. Holy smokes! I heard it in the headphones.
I didn't hear it.
Really? Okay. I'm curious if I'll hear it on the recording because, like, I swear I heard it in my ears. Like, holy frick.
I didn't hear.
Okay,
I didn't hear anything. But yeah,
the noise gate is working on the microphone. Impressive. But I don't know how early you want to get there because I'm going to try to hit up some of the fan day stuff on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, like,
I'd like to get there by 11.
Oh yeah, are you just going to leave like 3 a.m. or something or 4 a.m. and get there? I
considered it, but I was like, also like, I'm just going to be dead tired by 2. You know,
that's true.
But I don't mind. I don't want to be sitting in traffic all day. It's a big holiday weekend,
right? Because we did that last year, and I think it took us, I think, an hour and a half to get from Statesville to the Speedway.
Yeah,
like that last section of like 77, through Mooresville, through Huntersville, and then once you get to the Beltway, you're great. But it's like that strip is just like, and honestly, it's mostly Mooresville. I feel like
it is.
Like once you get past the lake, it's normally a lot better.
It's usually like, because the lake goes into Huntersville, and like that, like Cornelius, Huntersville, Davidson area, it gets very crammed, especially during rush hour. And then there's just a lot of accidents because people are looking at boats and not what's in front of them.
You're not wrong. I think almost every time I've driven through there's been an accident. It's insane.
Apparently there's like, people say, this is what I heard. People say that, like, I guess women on boats there, they distract the drivers and people have wrecked. Yeah. Like it's like in the summer, apparently it's like people do that just to mess with traffic. And I'm like, that's not safe, dude.
That feels believable though. Like it doesn't really surprise me.
It does.
And they're probably wives or girlfriends of NASCAR drivers doing it too.
Good chance.
Yeah. It's a solid, it's a solid chance. Because that area, oh my gosh, that area gets absolutely insane. And remember on our way to Daytona, you and I saw, like we were witnesses to an accident there when a guy in a trailer drove over the front of a truck.
This dude's minivan. He's hauling a trailer with a minivan that is just struggling, and he just whips it at this beautiful, probably $40,000 truck.
It's a lot more money than my truck. I know that.
Yeah.
It was not the base model F-250. It was the Premier Holy Crap Package F-250.
Yeah, run you over kind of F-250.
That kind. So we had the North Wilkesboros this weekend. So I feel like it's always a fun way to start doing like our weekend race rating. So what would you rate? I guess you can break it up however you want, but like how would you rate the All-Star event?
I would say for the racing quality itself, I would probably give it a C-. I like the creative atmosphere with these different tires, but honestly, half the time I didn't know which tires people had on. I think they should have probably, had a little color thing on the, the ticker throughout the race, but that's besides the point. The racing quality just wasn't, to me, that didn't seem that good. So I just felt like, compared to how the trucks raced and how, it was hard to pass, but Butterbean still passed, 65 cars, 65 trucks under green flag conditions. They didn't have no green flag pit stops. And so you could still do things. There was more air, you could tell with the trucks, but I just really wasn't impressed. But after, from what we saw last year, I do think it was a little better. And I thought it was fun as the Ricky delivered on his, comment with the watch and everything. So
that was amazing.
Yeah. I didn't, we didn't think that was going to happen. We didn't think he was going to stick up to it, but, I guess they're stuck in there, what Clint said. So
I love. Did you see Dale Jr.'s tweet of let's concrete fill every single tunnel at every single racetrack?
That's funny.
It was brilliant because I mean, like Ricky even said, he's like, normally I would have been at home, so it would have just brushed off. But he's like, I couldn't go anywhere, and I got more mad sitting in there because every lap I saw him driving around the track, I got more upset.
Yeah, I think it's the way to go. Entertainment wise, I mean, that was fun to watch. Just a little controversy to get into the Coke 600 weekend, so but still C-. But how about you?
Yeah, so I thought about this because I had a couple thoughts in mind, and my first one is I'm really trying to be more positive. I'm trying to make this podcast a little more like let's just not crap on NASCAR the whole time. So
trucks are great.
They were, and so where I landed is I want to give the track / SMI a 10 out of 10. Sorry, I did it off numbers. I want to give them a 10 out of 10 because for a couple of reasons. First off, never in the history of ever has a brand new repave been this good. Ever. And like I saw everyone pooping on SMI on Twitter on whatever it was Friday. And they're like, oh, just doing another cheap, crappy repave. Denny Hamlin was right.
No, it was pretty good.
It was phenomenal. And like I hear people dogging, they're like, well, they made it thin. And I'm like, duh. That's the point. Like that's
there's characters still there, which I wish they did that to Texas. I wish they did that to Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, we should
do it. This is what they should be doing everywhere. So like, and honestly, SMI is taking more of a risk doing it this way than if they just paved it beautifully, because it's going to cost them more money, and if they miss, they're going to miss hard. So like, I feel like I have to just defend SMI because I feel like they took a ginormous risk that, oh, by the way, paid off because the track is freaking perfect. And I mean, the truck race proved it. And I really wish the Cars Tour could have run. Stupid rain. Because I feel like we would have had that much more evidence that the track was good. But man, so I have to say, track, SMI, 10 out of 10. The Cup car, I give a 3 out of 10. Because copy and paste every other short track rant that we go on. Everything is about aero, which is like just the dumbest thing in the world. The option tire was not an option tire because it was the only option, because there was no fall off in the option tire. Like they said over 100 lap run because the front 4-ish cars didn't pit. That's how, Blaney got his track position. And then what was it? It was the 17, the 6, and the 22, I think, never pitted. There was one other car. Yeah. I'm screwing up that.
Oh, they say they didn't change tires at all.
At all. Until the halfway break. At lap 100 for Joey Logano versus lap 1 of the race, he fell like 1/10 on average lap speed. And that was the option tire. That was not the like hard, this was the soft. So that tells me that we're still not putting enough power to the wheels. And it tells me the car still is making way too much downforce and they're not sliding the tires enough. And because I feel like the compound was decent-ish, because there was at least a difference. It just wasn't like, I don't know. It wasn't great.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There was moments where the cars looked hard to handle. Like they looked like they were bouncing around and stuff. I'm not saying maybe they're hard to handle, but it looked okay. But when it came to like when Joey was trying to pass Bubba Wallace for 30 laps and couldn't do it, and Michael McDowell was hanging tight with the leader, that shouldn't be happening, at least for that long. And if you called up to him like that, and I just think about the truck race where I know obviously the skill set gap is a little different, but I mean, they all were racing the kind of similar lines, but trucks were able to, you could be side by side with them for a while and then eventually clear them by circumstance.
Right. And I feel like, and the track is only going to get better. So I think you're going to have an even easier to navigate next year because you're going to have, just another year of wear on it. So, but yeah, you're right. It was just so frustrating.
It's not going to. Yeah, and it's not going to, like, whatever happens with this track, it's not going to fix this car. It's not going to fix the racing. It might help, but it's not going to fix anything. So,
well, and I think that's my biggest, so last night I was kind of getting, like, upset because I'm seeing everyone's comments about, oh, got to ditch Wilkesboro. Two races in a row that sucked and all that. And I'm like, okay, my first response back was, okay, name me one good short track race with this car minus Bristol this year, where that was a happy accident. So take that off the table. Name me one good short track race with this car. And the answer is there's none.
Well, I'll tell you this. The last time, when you say name the last good short track race with this car, you know what I thought of?
What's that?
I thought of Bristol Dirt when Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe got into each other and Kyle Busch won. That's the last time I thought of a short track with this car, actually. And that was like COVID Easter.
That's a good point, because I mean, if we really want to cause some controversy, you're right. I think Bristol Dirt so far has been the best short track on this car. Like, are we just going to break Twitter NASCAR by saying that statement? But like,
we might.
I think it is. So, I don't know. I think where my heart breaks is because, again, I'm trying to be positive.
Yes.
I love everything about the Speedway. I love that they kept some of like the old school aspects of it. And even the repave, like they kept the characteristics, you know, the environment. Like even drivers said, like the fans at intros are like on top of you. And just the atmosphere is created. So like this Speedway is such a win. And I don't want to see this Speedway get hindered by a crappy car. And that's what I'm a little bit afraid of. And I feel like there's enough industry professionals that are saying the same thing we're saying. But I'm just seeing enough of the fan response. And it's like, oh gosh, please don't be the majority.
Right. And you want to make sure like you need to have a product like NASCAR, a following like NASCAR to keep that business running. I know no matter how good local stuff is, trucks, and then honestly just have a standalone Xfinity event there with a late model series with it, I think you would still get a sellout crowd. Like trucks were looking pretty good too. I don't think it was because of the cup race. I think people just want to be at this race. Yeah. But I do want to see a 400 lap race there, at least in the next 5 years. I would like to see like an official race there. And I just think NASCAR needs to get to work. That's really what they need to do. As positive as I'll say, they need to get to work and solve this issue because they're just that piece is missing. I can tolerate everything else if they could fix the short track stuff. And, if everything else with a pound and a half the way they've been, and we can just have some decent short track racing, I think we would be okay. The product would be tolerable, Yeah.
Oh, I'm 100% with you. I'm 100%. And it's like, and I know this is where Dale Jr.'s heart is too, because he's such a short track guy. And like you see his heart just breaking. And it's like, guys, and if I'm of this belief, if they truly wanted to fix this, and all options were on the table like we keep hearing, it would be fixed by now. But the problem is, and even you heard it on Elton Sawyer's thing with Dale Jr., like we are sacrificing everything about this racing, about this car, to appeal to a manufacturer that doesn't even exist yet. And like, I'm just done with it. Like, it's so stupid because we're, object number one in a business is have a good product. That's number one. And then everything else is secondary to that. So let's make our racing so good that Honda doesn't give a crap what push rod motors we're running. You know, and that's kind of where I'm getting. And it's like, we keep hearing, oh, this is a priority. This is a priority. And obviously it's not, because you haven't done anything. And then they come up with these little Band-Aid fixes that like a 5-year-old could tell you isn't going to work. They make the teams drive out to Phoenix and spend a week and then spend however much money that costs them to try these little Band-Aid fixes. And then they go, oh, well, it didn't work. And the little 5-year-old kid's like, I could have told you that when you were parked in Mooresville. And it's just, I think I'm almost getting to a point where I've just accepted like it's not going to happen. And I'm like, okay, then let's just take the Xfinity series everywhere. And then we can just celebrate a good Saturday race.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't listen to the Elton Sawyer episode, or if that was his name, but I just...
You would have been raging a little bit.
I probably would have. I probably will go back and watch now that you mentioned it. But it's just I don't know if it's because they're waiting on circumstances to play out. But the thing is, I put an asterisk when you were saying about They've been trying to appeal to a manufacturer that doesn't even exist yet. This has been in the works since Dodge has left. Like, when Dodge left, when Brad Keselowski won a championship in 2012, I believe.
I was in high 11 school. 11 or 12. Yeah.
11 or 12. I was in high school. I didn't even have my driver's license yet. I was probably 16 or 15. I'm now almost 30. And we are still trying to do this and try to ruin the series as we go on to try to appeal something that doesn't even exist. And it still doesn't exist.
Yeah.
When will it exist? Is there anything fine print to conform to these manufacturers when we already have an identity crisis in the sport when it comes to what's NASCAR, what's this,
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think, too, just to even amplify that a little bit more, is we're talking about Honda, obviously. That's like the big manufacturer on the table that, they will not make a push-rod engine.
Joke's on them, I'm buying a Toyota. So,
well, and I think that's where another level of frustration is. You have Toyota, Chevy, and Ford now multiple times have already come out and said, hey, we're game. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. And then, so NASCAR, again, is suppressing the manufacturers that are spending money currently in the sport, and by the way, spending a lot of money in the sport to, again, attract a manufacturer that hasn't spent literally a cent in the sport. Like, Honda has paid $0 to a NASCAR program.
I think it's just like a game to them at this point. You're like, well, it's that time of the year again where we need to toy with NASCAR just so we have something to do for
It's like a game show at work. They're like, all right, how much can we get NASCAR to screw up? We're
gonna have 5 meetings with Steves, and we're not gonna get anywhere. And this is what's gonna happen. We're just gonna,
I think they're just going into meetings and they're like, all right, what is the most ridiculous thing we can demand, and we'll see if NASCAR does it. They're like, we want numbers on the windshields. And NASCAR goes, we got a new rule, guys. We want to attract the manufacturers, right? And they want numbers on the windshields, so we should probably put numbers on the windshields.
Honestly, at this rate. And you can see the Steves just talking about it, and just in their little the numbers on their windshield. We did that with the Mexico series. It looks great, guys. Look, that's what they did.
Oh, shoot.
In LA.
I was being 100% satirical, but I completely forgot about that. They are hideous.
I'm sorry. Actually fooled.
Holy crap, there might be more. Okay, I got to stop making jokes because people are listening. Or they're already ahead. So, well, we had, I hate to say this, but our source of entertainment last night happened after the checkered flag. And you mentioned it at the top. Our boy Ricky Stenhouse Jr. followed through on his word.
Exactly did. And honestly, I didn't think he would.
I didn't either.
He's like, I'm going to have Richard hold my watch.
This is such a multifaceted thing to discuss. And ironically, we're probably going to spend more time talking about this than the race. But so there's the initial incident, and I feel like we should start there. So what are your thoughts on the lap 1 incident and then the lap 2 incident?
Ricky just making it 3 wide before the start finish line, like whatever that was.
Yeah,
I just thought it was dumb on him to do that soon. But then after the race played out and how hard it was to pass, I kind of don't blame him. But I think Kyle's retaliation is just an example of his frustration of the season as a whole. I think he hates these cars. He's probably thinking, I want to be back here with Ricky freaking Stenhouse if these cars would work, right? So, right. I think it's a little frustration about the season. I'm all for it, though. I think it's just a racing deal. I think they were both wrong in a way, but I'm here for it, man. I thought it was fun.
Yeah. I honestly felt like Kyle Busch wrecked himself. Like when I first saw the replay, I was like, come on, Ricky.
You did. Yeah,
but then
true.
I watched it again, and the 47 was like clear. Like almost
not even
clear.
Touching him.
Yeah. And then the 8
Kyle ran himself.
Drove himself into the wall, and I'm like, I don't think it was Ricky's fault. And then obviously, there's no question what happened on lap 2. Which from a drama perspective, I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Please give. Again, that was the excitement of the evening. So I'll take it. But I felt like Kyle was in the wrong, and then of course Ricky parks his car in Kyle's
Yeah,
pit
he's like-
stall.
And what does he say? He's like, I'm pretty sure this is what Kyle would have done. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It was brilliant. It's just
he would've had
absolutely
to do it in
brilliant.
reverse, though. Kyle Busch does that thing in reverse.
That's true. That would have been even funnier if he like somehow got the car backwards into Kyle's pit stall. That.
I mean, gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, I don't know if this is a paid actor or what, but we're just going to go with it.
I think there's a button that they hit and they're like, hey, the race is boring. Just do something. Although we didn't know yet. At that point, I think we also had high hopes. Like I went into last night with really high hopes, actually. So I guess that was too early to know that what we were heading into. But
Hey, yeah, I think it was just cool to see the turnout and everything there. It was a great weekend regardless. So it just sucked that it rained. It seems like North Carolina actually rains more than Pennsylvania now, if you believe it or not.
Yeah.
From what I hear.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane.
The difference is here it's 55 degrees almost the end of May, and then there it's in the 80s.
Right.
That's the difference.
The rain is still, it's just, I think what I read on our notes, apocalyptic level rain on Saturday at North Wilkesboro, North Carolina. Yeah. So did you, I know you're not on the Twitter sphere, did you get a chance to see Jordan Bianchi's video from the fight?
No, I only saw TV.
Okay. So obviously, like the TV side of it was glitching. Like it were on a wireless camera and whatever. It was interference.
Yeah, and it was shaking refusively.
Yeah,
whoever it was
it was not good. So Bianchi again. I mean, this dude does this all the time. Has like the footage of a post-race incident recorded from his phone, and so. I'll send you the link so you can watch it then. So they're following Kyle from pit road because obviously everyone knows like, hey, there might be a chance of something happening. And they get back to the hauler and Stenhouse is literally leaning on like the gate up. Yeah, he's like, I've been waiting for you. And then the meme content has already been fantastic, by the way, out of this. It's 10 out of 10. I love it. And so he's waiting and then they're yelling and they're yelling kind of what you would expect, you know, and it was all just good. And then Ricky just gets to a point where he just wasn't happy with Kyle's answer. So he just pops him.
It was the most weirdest thing. It was like, did you see how he clenched his fist and how he like went about it? I almost felt like it was like not slow motion, but something just felt like, I felt like he was like a cat, you know?
Yeah.
He would like clench his fist and he went, it was like a lunge, not really a swing.
Yeah.
Not saying it was bad. He connected. I'm pretty sure.
He connected. He can. We've reviewed the freeze frame.
It was the most awkward punch, but I'm here for it.
But it landed, and I think, I mean, the whole thing to me was entertaining, but I think the most entertaining part was at the very tail end, like. They're starting to part ways. And like, so Kyle is on the door of the hauler, which is like a foot off the ground. And then there's like that little rope that comes out. And then Stenhouse is on the ground walking towards his hauler, which, oh, by the way, was one hauler away, which is hilarious. Don't you love when that happens? And Stenhouse yells, well, I'm just going to wreck your blanket, Charlotte. And Kyle responds, go ahead and do it. We suck anyway.
Oh, he did say that. I heard a quote about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do it. We suck at it anyway.
What's even better is Andy Petrie is he the director of competition or he's the executive something? He has
an important role. He's the Chad Canals of RCR.
That's the best way to describe it. He's literally standing between Kyle and Ricky, and in Bianchi's video, he pans from Kyle right when he says, go ahead and do it. We suck anyway. He pans towards Stenhouse, and you can see Andy Petrie standing there, and he rolls his eyes. And I'm like, oh, I would pay money to be in that RCR comp meeting this morning.
Yeah, because I mean, Kyle has not been happy.
No.
He's not been happy.
And I know the car is a huge part of it. Like, he hates this car. But obviously, RCR is part of the frustration.
It is. And honestly, did you see that he's racing for an Xfinity Series this weekend?
I heard that, but I did not see who's he racing for. I missed the details.
RCR, just make sure that it's a car, not him.
Oh, yeah, that's okay.
If I had, because you were on that Like,
Yeah.
when you were saying about the car, obviously it could be the car, but what if he goes out and finishes 20th in the RCR car, you know? I doubt it. He probably win it,
yeah, he'll probably win it. But
yeah. Yeah.
that's interesting. I actually missed that. So that will, and I'm sure, like, you know, heat of the moment, everyone says dumb stuff. I mean, Andy Petrie said enough dumb stuff in the last year to last a lifetime.
You got to be honest. They have been running well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not there. And like some weeks you have, I'm going to try to be nice here. Some weeks you have the comparison. Like when Kyle Busch qualifies 4th and Austin Dillon qualifies 32nd, you're like, okay, one of these cards is off.
Yeah, that's off.
But then like there's other weeks where like Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch are both like qualifying 28th, 29th, and then they're running like 21st, 24th all race. And you're like, okay, now that's a team blunder. Like that's a full RCR organization. But I feel like last year we had a lot of like the 8 doing well, but the 3 struggling. And this year we've had a lot of like both of them struggling. Yeah. And then Kyle basically wrecking, trying to like make something out of nothing. Well, with 5 to go is normally when Kyle Busch wrecks, but you know, trying to get something out of the car that doesn't exist. So that's where I'm like, oh, RCR might be in trouble. They might not be good.
Right. And like Kyle has had some runs this year. Like he was running top 5 at Kansas. Like that's usually that wreck happened. They spun out.
That's true.
But it's just he'll give you 10 to 15 spots on a car. So like
for sure.
Let's say like Austin Dillon's running top 20 in points, Kyle will be probably top 5 in points, you know. Just his talent. So I do think it's you know, I'm glad he said it because maybe it will wake him up. I mean, light to a situation and usually heals itself. So
I think so too. And it was odd. I mean, again, last night was so hard to measure because you knew passing was like impossible. But I don't know if you noticed at one point, but there were 0 Chevys anywhere, like in the camera shot. And then at the end, Kyle Larson was it, but it was Fords, a couple Yoders, and Larson. So that, which is weird because like 2 months ago, Chevy was like it. It was like, oh, you're driving a bow tie? Great. You're going to probably finish top 5 today, you know? So I don't know how much we can take into account, but that obviously is a variable with the RCR thing is like, is Chevy in trouble or was last night just because we don't know. Like, again, Bubba Wallace, the car going a lap down, blocked the guy that led every single lap of the race for 30 laps. So, there's just not much we can take away. But that was just a thought I had last night. So,
yeah, I think you make valid points with all of that. I'm kind of curious too.
Yeah, for sure. So, truck race. I mean, Corey Heim ran away with it again. And again, I don't think that's as much an indicator of the track and the race itself because I thought like the race itself I thought was incredible. Corey Heim was good. Like he was just fast.
He didn't take it away until like halfway through the race.
Oh, that's true. So I missed the first half, so that's where my judge is a little off. You probably know more what happened than I do.
Well, yeah, the first one it got to like stage 1, and then it rained. So, and then we had it on Sunday. I kind of somewhat remember it. They erased all the results.
What?
I mean, I know Heim won, but there was different leaders. I ended up winning money on a daily fantasy, so that doesn't really happen too often.
Hey, I'll take it. That's a good day. I hope you bet on Mr. Butterbean because he had a day.
So, you know what? Ironically, I had the 38 in the 1, but I was like, you know what? The 38 wrecks every time I put him on, and it's like he's had an issue every race.
Right.
You know, he has speed. And the 1 car, I was like, oh, I'll probably mess up on pit road. Now, little did I know, he did mess up on pit road, but he ended up driving back like the stud he is, little Butterbean he is. So,
dude,
if I had those 2 guys down, I probably would have won $1,000.
Oh,
just saying out that.
Oh, you were that close.
I was that close, and I was like, I didn't trust it, and it's okay. But the Grant Infinger was fast as well at the end, but
he was.
Sammy Smith passed a lot of trucks. It was, it was a good race.
Sammy Smith is another bust, by the way. I'm throwing that out there. I'm not.
He finished 5th.
Did he
was 2
really?
laps down at one
Okay.
point. Yeah, he finished
All right.
fifth. He was a lap down, and then he got his lap back, like after stage 2, and then he just drove his way up.
All right. I'll back off the Sammy Smith thing for another couple weeks.
Well, I don't know. I don't care for him. I'd be okay if Ron Truex took his ride. So.
Good calling it. Well,
Yeah.
but how cool is this? So you've got 2 really good super late model drivers that have now made massive names for themselves in the second and third tier of NASCAR in the last 3 weeks. Yeah. And like
it's awesome.
And they both have earned their status. Like nothing was handed to them. And it's just like, I think it's awesome. Like I'm so hyped to see, honestly, like part of me wants to see what they do to Cup, but then I also realize that Cup kind of sucks right now. So it's like, I hope they fix Cup before these guys get to Cup.
Yeah.
To see what they can do, you know?
They got a different spice to them, you know, when it comes to how they race and things like that. And I think, like Butterbean, he was aggressive. Like he was pretty aggressive, but he never wrecked anybody. He doored a few.
I felt like he never stepped over the line because like he would lean on guys, but you know, like Christian Eckes once again, like door slapped him on the backstretch. I'm like, all right, Eckes, can we chill out, dude? Like, is this his new thing to just start door slapping everybody? But like he short track raced him because he would kind of push him. He would, you know, lean on him, but he never like hit him. He never slapped him. Like he just kind of. He short track raced him, and I was so impressed with him.
Yeah, I thought he was really, really smooth with it. He knew what to do. I thought he was actually going to wear his stuff out because he was racing pretty hard. I felt like
he was
driving him pretty hard, more hard than most people were, and he was able to hang on and pass cars and save his tire at the same time. And that's one of his special tracks. And what I like about Butterbean, it's an original name, you know. For a while we had Quapple and Riggs.
That's true. That's true.
They got a lot of, I mean, they're awesome to see them develop, but Butterbean's this whole, like, what's a Butterbean?
Yeah.
You know? Like, what?
Yeah. Queen. There was no queens in NASCAR. You know what I mean?
No,
like, there's no family name here.
And it's a real mullet. Like, it's real. It's not a reality TV show mullet. It is an authentic Butterbean mullet. He enjoys Waffle House. Like, this guy is literally relatable.
Yeah.
So I hope it really works out for him. I hope he gets some rides. And honestly, he almost won a championship last year in the car store. He finished second to Carson Quapple. So car store, man, it's a great stuff.
And it's like every week I feel like I grow even more appreciation. And I already had appreciation, but it's just like you're starting to see, and I feel like you're starting to shift the culture a little bit because the truck series had turned into the spoiled rich kids. And, you know, like the Chris Wrongs and stuff that were wrecking every 3.5 laps. And
he's
now,
in miles again.
And now you've got like the storyline is, oh, by the way, Brendan Queen in his first ever truck race just passed like 50 cars and landed a solid finish. Didn't wreck the truck, didn't do anything stupid. He had a pit road issue, but like didn't do anything else stupid. And, you know, and then of course we have Carson Quapple, like the weeks before this, that it's, you know, he almost won his second ever Xfinity race. And I feel like we're moving that needle to actually more, this might be heresy, but I'm going to say it anyway, like more Dale Earnhardt-esque drivers, because if you look at like the identity of Dale Earnhardt that made him so appealing, and you look at how you just described, you know, Butterbean, Brendan Queen, same thing. You know what I mean? Like
we got some characteristics that we need. We need some more personalities coming through the pipeline. So 100%, man. I agree. I think there is a shift now. I think you might upset some Earnhardt fans a little bit, maybe, with that comment.
Well, and I mean it as a compliment to both. Yeah, and that's I hope that gets translated, because I'm not trying to demean one. I'm but you're probably right.
You can't compare it to anybody to Dale Earnhardt. Well, I just compared Butterbean. So
Dale Earnhardt is sitting on the right side of God the Father right now.
He is watching all the bad decisions in NASCAR.
Bro is shaking his head right now.
He's probably. That's why he probably calls it the rain. He probably
here. I'm doing you a favor.
No heats.
So it's. I mean, it's awesome, and I'm excited to see it. What else do you say? I did have another thought to lead out of that, but totally gone. Oh! Did you hear? I just remembered. Did you hear the cheers when he got out of his truck from pit road.
Yeah.
Like,
I heard a little bit of it.
Okay.
He was like fist pumping. I thought they were cheering on Heim.
no, so
Nobody cared about Heim.
No one does. Matt, he's become boring at this point. He wins too much.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it was Matt Weaver posted a video on Twitter, and he was standing near Bean's truck, and as soon as he got out, you hear all these cheers, and then they start chanting.
Yeah.
And I was like, and then one of his crew members even said, this is for you. And he turns around and his eyes get all big, and then he fist bumps, and then they get even louder. And it was like in one truck race, this guy has just built a fan base. Like, how freaking cool is that?
He was finally able to display it on national television. So it's pretty cool to see all of that. And that's the relatable factor right there. So
yeah,
if you could be relatable, and I think that's why people like Ross, because he could identify as a watermelon farmer. There are farmers out there that can kind of identify with that. I can't.
No.
But I know some people can.
He's another one owning that identity. Like his intro last night for the All-Star race, freaking hilarious. 10 out of 10. I thought that was great. He comes out with the Bud Light King hat, or the Busch Light. I'm sorry,
I missed
wrong
it.
brand.
I missed it. I didn't see it. So
he came out. His crew was holding like this little portable platform with him on it, so that he could stand up above them. And then he had a crown cut out of I keep saying the wrong brand. Of a Busch Light case of a
Same
crown.
Company.
Yeah, so he's the Busch Light King. And then all his crew, it was just so funny. And you're like, there's that personality. Like, we love the personalities. So, no, so cool. So excited. Next on the list, we have to talk about this. I am wearing a shirt to represent this guy because I am so hype on what this man has done this week. Kyle Larson, first time in an Indy car, qualified P5 for the Indy 500.
Incredible. And I even checked the odds, plus 700 to win, which is too favorable. I was hoping he'd be like 3,000, but even the odds are in his favor. So it's insane. The fact that he's never raced an Indy car before. This is his next. He still hasn't raced one. It's just practice and qualifying.
Right.
I mean, and you qualify fifth in the car that I'm pretty sure Alonso missed.
Right.
F1 champ. Did he win a championship? I think he did win a championship.
I'm F1 stupid, so you could tell me anything, and
I should know this. If you know me, I should probably know this, but I'm blanking out on it. But either way, I mean, it's incredible. Now I want to see Kyle Larson do the triple. Let him do Monaco, Indy, and 600 one day.
I mean, you nailed it. And I even had this thought. So because you kind of watch, like I was watching some Indy qualifying, first time in my life, by the way. So you talk about this guy has brought NASCAR fans to dirt and dirt to NASCAR. And now he's bringing NASCAR fans to Indy and Indy fans to NASCAR. Like, you talk about a representative of your sport, 10 out of 10. Like, hello, he's done more than the entire PR team at NASCAR in the last week. Sorry. I had to slide that in there. So I'm watching qualifying, and there's little things that these guys do because, like, Joseph Newgarden has driven an Indy car at Indianapolis Motor Speedway quite a few times. So he knows little things during qualifying to do. Kyle Larson doesn't have any of this information. He's never done this before. He doesn't know how the car is going to react. And he still qualifies P5. Like,
yeah.
And again, I understand, like, they're running wide open. There's a lot to this that is the team, and he's driving for a good team, blah, 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 blah. But there's so many pieces of this that the driver is influencing, and he's nailing it. And it's just, I am so excited to watch him next week. I'm a Scotty Mack fan myself. I love Scott McLaughlin, who, by the way, won the pole, Indy 500. Very cool.
He was fast. Yeah, that was some good laps.
All Penske front row for the Indy 500. As a Blaney fan, you gotta love that in your heart. You know, it hits. But I'm secretly rooting for Kyle Larson on Sunday. I just am. Like how
I would love to see him win both. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Dude, could you imagine if he won the double? My
the place is going to erupt. I think I could only imagine. I just hope it happens. I think that would be insane if he not only wins if he comes back from Indy, but just literally wins Indy and the Coke 600, and to be there for that,
dude. like, how epic would that be? I'm just saying.
You literally, people will always talk about it during this time of year, and you'll be like, we were there, you know?
And like, that's not off the table. That's what's insane about this proposition is like,
Yeah.
we're not like throwing something out that is impossible. Like, this could happen.
The odds are in his favor.
They are, because like, obviously we've already seen what he does at Indy. And then the second part of his day is driving on an intermediate track, which, oh, by the way, he wins at all the freaking time. Like, he stunk up Las Vegas, which was an intermediate. He won by what, 3/4 of an inch 2 weeks ago at an intermediate. So it's like, oh, so he gets to wrap up the part of the day that we already know is probably going to be good and come to a track that he has like, his average finish is like 1.5. So
yeah, you're right.
The options are on the table for him.
It truly is. And I'm excited to see it all unfold. I know it doesn't happen too often, but I do know, like, they were showing years of people who did the double. I know Kurt Busch did it. I think he was the most recent one, but holy crap on Robbie Gordon doing it like 6 times. I did not know he was such a bad.
Was it 6 times?
He's done it 6 times. He did it like 4 times in the 90s and 3 times in the 2000s.
And like, some of them, I had no idea it was that much.
Yeah. I didn't know either until I saw this picture. I wonder if I have it saved, but I was like, Robbie Gordon. Oh, there it is. I have it right here. So it was Robbie Gordon. He did it in 1997, 2000, 2002, 2003, and 2004. Like, wow. That's not 6, but it's, 4. It's 5. He did it 5 times.
I mean, that's impressive. So was he, I mean, do you have results? I'm just curious, was he competitive?
Yeah. So, the first time it was like 29th for Indy 500, 41st. And then it was, second time he did it in 2000 was 6th. And then, for Indy, 6th for Indy, and then finished 35th in Charlotte. And then Robbie Gordon finished 8th in 2002, finished 16th at Charlotte, 22nd in Indy at 2003, 17th in Charlotte, 29th in 2004, and then 20th at Charlotte. So, I mean,
he had 1 or 2 decent years, but it sounds like
he finished the race for 41st and 35th. He didn't, but 16th, 17th, and 20th. That's finishing the race. Yeah. Tony, he did it in 2001. He had 6th for Indy, 3rd for Charlotte. That's impressive.
That is mind-boggling. And dude, we might see that this Sunday. I'm just saying, like, that again. That is not a crazy prediction to say minimum of 6th and minimum of 3rd for Kyle Larson.
Yeah, you're right. And honestly, Kurt Busch, he did it in 2014, 6th at Indy, and then 40th at Charlotte, I think, because he had like a wreck or something. But I remember Kurt Busch was winning it too. But yeah, the fact that it could honestly happen. And I say tune in.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know I was listening to Jeff Gluck because he's at Indy for the whole event, and he's been kind of doing the things. And one of the biggest things he said that the new guys have issues with is the restarts at Indy, and that's where the veterans really show. So that's the thing. I think I'm going to be mostly keyed in to see on the restarts, how does he do? Because that was honestly what won it for Joseph Newgarden last year. He was running P2, and he just, coming off 4 to get the green, he timed it so perfectly. He got in front, and then he just, it was over. So that's, I feel like that's going to be the big thing, and I'm excited to see it. And we'll be watching it somehow. I don't know how yet, but we're going to watch it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I know it's Sunday's going to be a really good day either way. I just hope he's safe. Hope the Indy 500 is a safe one.
Me too.
Kind of crazy. I think the biggest thing for Kyle is just surviving the 500 miles. He's a short track sprint car driver. Sprint meaning short, and so he had to adjust with NASCAR. Done a really good job with that, but it took him some time. But I know the Indy 500 is a whole nother animal. So I just hope he enjoys it, and honestly, I hope he does it a few more times. I hope this isn't the only one.
Me too. And I feel like as long as it goes well, I feel like that's going to happen. And if he wins the double, honestly, just find somebody that's racing on Monday in a sprint car and just go enter the race because he's probably going to win that too. And then we'll get all.
He probably has a high limit race if we're looking slow, I'm sure.
So just go win that too. Like just complete the weekend, make it perfect. Just do Kyle Larson things.
Just keep doing you.
Yeah, so excited to see it. I did have one news note from this week, and I hate to bring it up because I know we're going to get negative. The 2025 championship race for the NASCAR Cup Series. Drum roll, please. Phoenix Raceway again.
What did I say in this group chat? I was like, do they ever listen or something? Like, do they not hear any of us? Who cares? Like, I read the Coyotes.
Yeah. Like, industry professionals, do they listen to them? Because, I did not see one industry professional this week that was excited. Every single one was saying, what in the world is this decision? And, I got to agree with them. What are we doing?
Yeah. Right. And Honda's probably like, hey, NASCAR, what if you go to Phoenix again?
And NASCAR's like, oh, is that where you want? Is that where you want? Okay, yeah, we'll go. Guys,
we'll do it. Okay,
we're going to Phoenix. Yeah. Honda wants us too. We gotta track the new manufacturers.
All right. Come on.
I can't do it. So, and I think so. Here's what's funny. I'm a big Ryan Blaney fan. Statistically, he is the best driver at Phoenix. He has the best stats of any active Cup Series driver at Phoenix. So for me, I selfishly should be ecstatic for the next 2 years because as long as he makes the top four, it's over. Barring something happen, if Blaney makes the top four the next 2 years, there's a good chance he's a 3-time champion because so now this is going to sound like I'm an anti-Blaney fan, but you've degraded the champion because now it doesn't matter how the other drivers are because Blaney's better than them at Phoenix. It's over, which is why if you're going to do the one race thing, I think you have to rotate first off.
Yeah.
I think and then if you're rotating, I have no issue with Phoenix at all. I have no issue with Phoenix being on the rotation, but if you're not rotating, it needs to not be a Phoenix. But so if you were to rotate, I'm just curious, and I know weather in November is a big variable to this.
Yes.
What would be your tracks to rotate between if you were picking? And you can do any number you want. I don't even care. I'm not even setting those parameters.
I mean, honestly, I think to qualify, you have to have, an efficient process, right, at the track.
Sure.
For fans coming to hold the event, which most tracks do, I believe. There are some out there that probably don't, but most of them do. But honestly, I was
Kentucky's
thinking,
off the schedule, so we're good now. We're clear.
You're right. And honestly, I think you could rotate it from East Coast, Midwest, and then out West. And I think you could rotate it every 3 years, right? Or every other year, but you can kind of go and bounce around. But I really think you mix it up. And I don't think, honestly, you might repeat some, like Homestead every 5 years maybe, or, depending on the facility, right? And what it goes. But the first thing that came to my head, I think obviously Homestead, but I also thought about Richmond for a short track. I think the facility is possible, but I know the racing right now is terrible. But it's just like the venue and where it's at. Richmond, it's not too far from us. But
now I guess the concern would be Virginia in November. That's probably the biggest concern there.
Well, yeah, it's probably going to snow, so you can't do that. It's going to be freezing. I don't know. I think you just got to rotate it, and I think you just be fair about it. And I also the biggest thing about it, I believe, you need to have it announced 3 years in advance. So, okay, we're going to release the 2025 schedule this year, but we're also going to release what we're going to for the championship in 2027.
I like
because
that.
I think you need to have that plan for people for the event to prepare, and so that we can prepare.
Well, yeah, and you have people buying tickets so far out. Again, that's another variable. You would have to do that,
right? Let's say, Martinsville becomes a championship race in 2027. Well, if I know that, I'm buying tickets probably this year because I'm going to go.
Oh, for sure. Without question, we would be there. One track product be danged. We're gonna see that.
Right. And so you already have the hype of people buying tickets and stuff. And then you already got advertising dollars coming in because you're just going to have more time to hype the event up. And I just think it's good for that.
So my thoughts, I tried to think through okay, if I had to pick 3 to 5 tracks to rotate between, And my picks were Phoenix, Las Vegas, Homestead. Homestead is just for pride. I'm going to make Homestead one just to make me feel better. Homestead, Phoenix, Las Vegas. Honestly, somebody recommended Darlington, and at first I thought they were crazy, but the more I thought about it, the more I love Darlington. I think Darlington could be on there. And then I also thought, how bad is weather in November in Charlotte? Because I think Charlotte could be your fifth one. And then you're kind of ending it close to home.
Bad. It's not bad. I was wearing shorts New Year's Eve. Yeah, it's not too bad at all, actually. Fall really starts to begin in Charlotte in October. So,
okay.
I mean, it's not like leaves aren't off the trees until probably end of December, near Christmas.
I mean, that's what I was thinking. The week before, you're in Martinsville, which is always colder than Charlotte. So you're only 1 week later and you're going south. So it's like, it can't be that bad, right? Yeah.
Which they can always move it. They can always move that event a weekend later. That's not a big deal. But yeah, I think it'd be actually, that's where they should end it, because that's where all the race teams are and everything. And they should have that in the rotation mix.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fantastic.
And I guess this is why I was also confused about the decision for 2025 is why not celebrate right now? We went through an 8-year stretch probably where intermediates sucked.
Oh.
And now they're phenomenal. So it's like, why do we not capitalize on that? Like Charlotte, like I'm legitimately excited for this weekend. Charlotte is probably the best track for this car right now, I think. So
I agree.
Why not capitalize on that and just 2025, we're going to do the championship race at Charlotte. And then only do, you know what I mean? Like, don't do it every year again, because I think you do need to rotate. But, again.
And you get rid of the Roval, too. Like, you get rid of the Roval.
Yeah, well, everything
I'm
hearing.
Announce it as that.
Exactly. And everything I'm hearing, that's gone anyway. It sounds like we're going to have 2 intermediates next year on Charlotte. Yeah, until that changes. But yeah, that's just what I thought, and it just I was disappointed.
If they do that, I'm going to Charlotte in October every year. Like that's already circled. Like if they actually go back to the 1.5 miles, I'll go twice a year.
Heck yeah,
with this car,
and I would love to. And so I've heard it from multiple people, including Bianchi. So that's again, Bianchi is always my measure. Like when he hints or says something, I'm like, okay, it's happening. Yeah. Because he's really like, he doesn't usually throw things out that don't have some sort of behind him. But according to what he hinted, Roval was done after this year. This is the last race for the Roval. And then it's back on the oval. And the shame is, I still think the Roval is our best road course package. But the oval is so stinking good. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, especially in a market like that.
Oh my gosh.
Be sold out.
I'm crazy enough to say, let's kill one of the other road courses and just do the Roval and 2 ovals on Charlotte.
Yeah,
but
that's not a bad deal.
For obvious reasons, I know they're not going to do it, and I think they're right. But still, it's just, selfishly, those are the thoughts I have.
Yeah, I agree.
So we did have a lot of good sprint car racing. I forgot to write down notes, so we'll watch it. It was good. It was great. There's a lot of good stuff. We had a bunch of local stuff, Outlaws, High Limits. They were all awesome. Sorry, all of these show notes came together really, really quickly because I've been jam-packed on the schedule. But they were just good, and we'll just leave it there. Brett Marks did win a race somewhere. I just don't forget where. I don't remember where. So
somewhere.
Yeah. He's kind of the local guy that him and Macri are kind of the 2 local guys that have the most speed right now. So it's kind of cool to see them. But yeah. So picks.
Yeah.
You picked that Joey Logano would win a pointless race.
Yeah.
And guess what he did?
He did it. He dominated, got the pole, and won the race.
It was kind of cool. I was kind of digging it. So, I mean, I was not digging it at all, but I was digging the fact that
I didn't put any money on it. Yeah. Too far in the hole.
And now you got to put some money on because apparently your picks are good. So I'm just saying.
Two out of the last 3 weeks I got correct. Larson at Kansas and Joey at the All-Star. But maybe we'll take a turn.
I think so too. So Coke 600. Who's high on your radar this weekend? What are you thinking?
Well, I think Ford's looking good again. It's kind of throws a lot of things. Chris Buescher runs well here, and he's been hot. Like he's up in the top 3 every freaking week. He's faster than Brad this year right now. He just hasn't capitalized on a win. And Brad's fast too. I'm just saying, for a while, Chris Buescher, I felt like was maybe, I don't know. He just really in the last 5 weeks has turned up. But I'd say be on the watch out for him. But I really think Kyle Larson's going to do it. I really do.
Dang. I like it. So P2 for Buescher, P1 for Larson, basically, is what you're picking.
Well, yeah, I think Buescher's your sleeper if he's even a sleeper anymore. But either that or just Denny Hamlin's going to stink up the show. One of the two.
I think so. The Buescher pick is really intriguing to me because he kind of has this extra level of motivation behind him right now. Like you even saw it at the tail of last night. Yeah, you're right. So I think he's the again, I don't think he's a sleeper, but he's the number 1 sleeper, Yeah, because it's just different saying, Chris Buescher's, not saying it's a bad thing, it's a great thing, but I like it's just different because he, for a while, was like, all right, Buescher's running well, but now last year he did amazing, 3 wins, popped off. Heck yeah. I'm going to be a total homer this weekend. I don't even care. This was his first win of the season last year. We're going to be there. And he's always fast here. Ford and Penske have been picking it up lately. I think number 12 puts it in victory lane when it counts this weekend, this Sunday night. We see that number 12 doing a burnout on the front stretch again. That's what I'm going with. Here. And honestly, if I had to pick somebody other than Blaney, because I was thinking through that when I was doing notes, it would have been Buescher. So that's what's really funny that you made Buescher your P2.
Oh, really?
Because Buescher was my second choice, just again because of the momentum he's got right now.
Yeah,
this
is a race that he runs pretty well at. I think. I know he flipped here pretty bad one year. That was bad,
dude. That was the year everybody wrecked. Everybody wrecked, and then
first year of this car.
Yeah, but I'm excited. It's gonna be a really good weekend. We're gonna be there. Weather looks really good. Hopefully the curse of us is broken. Maybe I verbalized that too early. So sorry in advance.
Hey, we're good.
But I am super excited. It's going to be a great weekend. If any of you guys listening are there, hit us up on the social medias. Mitchell and I will definitely be posting some stuff. We got a couple ideas on some things to do while we're at the track and at the campground. So we're going to try to do some stuff with kind of break it out from being all studio stuff on the social media. So definitely hit us up. Let's come see. I know a couple of our friends. I know Taylor Kitchen's going to be there. So we're going to try to catch up with her. And there's, it looks so bad now. There's a couple. Virgil's going to be there.
Virgil. Yes, that's right.
Yeah, he's going to be there. So a couple of our friends that we've made and have we've been keeping in touch with are going to be there. So we're excited to see them. And it's just going to be a super fun week. And and all that. So I'm ready. I'm
ready too.
I'm ready now. I think I texted you earlier. I'm already in vacation mode. This afternoon, I just don't care. Is it time to go? Let's go.
I've been counting, man. I'm counting down the days. I'll be there Thursday. Gonna enjoy it, and it's gonna be either way. Whatever happens, it's gonna be a good weekend. I'm excited for it.
Agree completely. And I'm calling for just a back-to-back for all the races because I think Allgaier's taking it home Saturday. So
we got to throw some unpredictability out there.
Yeah. There's gonna be a lot of it, so gonna be good. Any final thoughts for you, Mitchell? I think that kind of was final thoughts, but is there anything else you wanted to final thought before we roll?
Yeah, if you're traveling to the race, drive safe. If you're not, make sure to watch the Indy 500 Monaco in the morning and watch the Coke 600 at night. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe on YouTube.
Holla! Couldn't have said it better myself. Have a good week, y'all. See you at Charlotte.
Yep. See you.